Here. Yeah, we've got the box. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Over here, Jim.
That'd be very bad.
This side.
Great balance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a balance enough. We're uneven. So height-wise.
Already?
Numbers-wise.
Yep.
Numbers. I think we're close enough.
Good morning. My name is Tony Lopresti. I'm the County Counsel for the County of Santa Clara. I want to thank everybody for coming out. I'm going to say a few words in English, and then I'm going to give a quick summary of the press conference remarks in Spanish afterwards. Happy to take a few questions after that, and then open for interviews in English and in Spanish. Earlier this morning, my office filed a civil prosecution alleging that Meta Platforms has engaged in a worldwide systematic campaign to develop and actively facilitate the distribution of scam ads on Facebook and Instagram. This case is about accountability. It's about ensuring that as behemoth tech companies open up new frontiers in our society, that they aren't lawless frontiers. Meta has lied to its users and violated the law for years. While it had every tool at its disposal to regulate and restrict the misconduct of scammers, it chose instead to reap the rewards alongside the scammers themselves in the form of advertising revenue. Meta might be a massive power broker in Silicon Valley and throughout the world. But Meta is not a company above the law. As civil prosecutors in Silicon Valley, we can't allow a company as influential as Meta to continue perpetrating a scheme of this magnitude to deceive and victimize consumers. The scale of Meta's misconduct is simply overwhelming. Meta floods its 3.5 billion daily active users with an estimated 15 billion scam ads daily. I want to just pause on that number. That is 15 billion with a B scam ads daily. It's no wonder that Meta is estimated to be involved with 1/3 of all scams perpetrated on the internet. There can be no confusion about it. Meta is on the take. The complaint discusses internal documents showing that the company earns about $7 billion each year from scam ads alone. According to a recent investigation, even though Meta's internal warning systems might flag advertisements that are highly likely to be fraudulent, Meta allows those advertisements to post for a premium price. In other words, Meta has established a system for monetizing and profiting from fraud. And it's clear that Meta is taking careful steps to ensure that its revenue from scam ads continues to flow. Now, we know that Meta loves to tout its fraud prevention efforts. It talks a big game to its users about this and that initiative to remove scam ads. But the allegations in the complaint tell a very different story. What Meta won't tell you is that in 2025, it prohibited its own fraud prevention teams from taking any action that could cost Meta more than 0.15% of the company's total revenue. In other words, Meta will field a fraud prevention team and they'll brag about it, but they'll tie both hands behind its back so it can't damage the bottom line too much. What Meta won't tell you is that its so-called, quote, business partners, who as Meta has described it are, quote, vetted and, quote, trusted experts in helping businesses to advertise, were in fact openly and publicly stating that they can help fraudulent companies bypass Meta's filters and place scam ads on Facebook and Instagram. What Meta won't tell you is that when it learns about scammers, it is either slow-walking efforts to take action or taking no action at all. The complaint points to a report that a Meta employee drafted profiling the, quote, scammiest scammers on its platforms. Yet 6 months after that report was issued, several of those scammers remained active on Meta's platforms. When users contact Meta to complain about scams, Meta rarely takes action. According to an internal report discussed in the complaint, in 2023, users filed roughly 100,000 valid scam reports every week. But the company improperly rejected or simply ignored 96% of those scam reports. We've all heard of 3 strikes rules or 3 strikes laws. I used to play baseball. You get a few chances before you have to take the bench. Well, a 2024 internal Meta document revealed that Meta gave advertisers of financial fraud between 8 and 32 strikes, or in the case of high rollers, what Meta called high-value accounts. Meta has given them over 500 strikes. So in short, Meta might talk about its efforts to remove scam ads, but that talk is a scam just like the scam advertisement themselves. It's window dressing on a haunted house. As we allege in the complaint, Meta's role in the scheme goes much further than just allowing the ads to post and reach consumers. Meta helps optimize the ads, it helps perfect the ads, and it helps expand their reach by putting powerful AI tools in the hands of scammers. These tools generate thousands of versions of a scam ad and then test them out to identify the most effective ones. And even though Meta acknowledges that these tools might result in inaccurate or misleading information, it disclaims any liability for the content that its tools contribute. So in short, Meta is using powerful AI to supercharge its scam ads on its platforms, to plump its profits to the maximum extent possible while attempting to disclaim all accountability. I want to say a few words about why our office is taking this case on. We have a deep history of using the County Council's civil prosecutor authority to protect the most vulnerable folks in the community. That's a reflection of the equity-centered values that guide our county's work. Our office fought a 20-year battle to hold paint companies accountable for knowingly selling paint with lead in it for generations that sickened countless children. We filed the first public lawsuit in the nation to hold opioid manufacturers accountable. We sued Intuit for misleading low-income taxpayers into paying for tax returns that should have been free. This case, too, is about standing up for vulnerable people. According to the FBI, nationwide victims over the age of 60 reported losing over 4 times as much as the nationwide average when they were hit by online scams. According to the FBI, California ranked #1 out of all states in the number of complaints received by residents 60 and over who suffered over $800 million in losses. According to a Pew Research Center report, Black, Latino, and Asian adults are more likely than white adults to suffer multiple incidents of fraud. And low-income households are more likely to be victim of online scams than upper-income households. And while those numbers are nationwide and include data regarding scams beyond those on Meta's platforms, the complaint alleges that Meta specifically targets vulnerability. As Meta itself has recognized, a user who clicks on a scam ad is more likely to be shown additional scam ads because Meta itself will select those ads for that user. We're also filing this case because Santa Clara County sits at the heart of Silicon Valley. And while our region has certainly benefited from the tech boom, we can't sit idly by when we know good and well that a tech giant is swindling the public to hit a revenue target. Tech might be the lifeblood of Silicon Valley, and we benefit from it and we celebrate that, but we can't allow poison into that bloodstream. Whether you're big tech or you're mom and pop, you have to comply with the law. And if you don't, we will be sure that there are consequences. Because it's our job as local civil prosecutors to protect our community and the broader public from harm and exploitation, and that's exactly what this case against Meta is about. I want to express gratitude to the many attorneys who have been working tirelessly to put this lawsuit together, many of whom are here today. From the Santa Clara County Counsel team, Kavita Narayan, Meredith Johnson, Laura Trice, Hannah Godby, and Bill Nguyen. And we're fortunate to be supported by top-notch firms that contribute a wealth of experience, of expertise, of resources to this case. From the Bernstein, Litowitz, Berger, and Grossman team, Avi Josephson, Anya Friedman, and Michael Blatchley. From Rennie Public Law Group, Jim Ross, and from Bishop Partnoy, Frank Partnoy, and Robert Bishop. I'll give just a few quick summary comments in Spanish and then take a few questions, and then I'll be available for interviews in English and Spanish. Esta mañana mi oficina presentó una demanda contra Meta por participar en una campaña mundial y sistemática para desarrollar y facilitar activamente la distribución de anuncios fraudulentos en Facebook y en Instagram. Es cierto que Meta es un gran influyente aquí en Silicon Valley y en todo el mundo, pero Meta no está por encima de la ley. Como abogados públicos en Silicon Valley, no podemos permitir que una empresa tecnológica tan poderosa como Meta sigue perpetrando un esquema mundial para engañar y victimizar a los consumidores. La magnitud de la mala conducta de Meta es increíble. Inunda a sus 3.500 millones de usuarios activos diarios con un estimado de 15.000 millones de anuncios fraudulentos cada día. No es una sorpresa que la empresa está involucrada en un estimado de 1/3 de las estafas en Internet en el país. Meta finge tomar medidas contra los anunciantes fraudulentos, pero de hecho está adoptando pasos para asegurar que continúe lucrándose ilegalmente. Estamos pidiendo al tribunal que ponga fin a la mala conducta. Gracias. Happy to take any questions you have. So the scams, I mean, you can imagine there's 15 billion scams a day, right, that are being released, so they really run the gamut. What we've seen is a lot of financial scams. We've seen a lot of cryptocurrency scams. We've seen people pretending, impersonating famous folks or military personnel and doing things like asking for money, advertising miracle cures to incurable diseases. Really, it's anything and everything that we're seeing happen across Instagram and Facebook. Yeah.
Could you be just maybe a little bit more specific in terms of like the type of advertising and why it's being so effective the way Meta does it?
So I think, as I said before, there's all kinds of advertising. You know, one particular type of advertising is called pig butchering, right? Where there's a financial fraud and somebody will respond to an ad promising a certain return. They'll put a little bit of money into the scam. They'll get a return that looks very promising, and then they put a bunch of money into the scam only to see it disappear, right? So, you know, the list goes on and on as to the types of scams. But what Meta is doing, one, is taking very deliberate measures to make sure that enough of those scam ads, many of those scam ads get through. It's charging a premium price to scammers to actually post those ads when it knows that they might be highly likely to be scam ads. And then it's also using artificial intelligence and other tools to really make sure that those advertisements are reaching the broadest public audience. Any other questions? Yeah.
Joseph with KQED, thanks for the time. What would you expect the response to be? I mean, Meta, yes, based in the Bay Area, so we have this other connection, but it is a massive company, one of the largest in the world, and usually would kind of dismiss a lawsuit like this. When we go ask them to comment, they're going to say that you guys are kind of off your rocker. So
Yeah.
what's your response going to be to that? What do you expect to happen?
Well, let me tell you what I think the response from Meta should be, and then I'll tell you what I think the response from Meta will be. The response from Meta should be, we know good and well that we've been engaged in misconduct for a very long time, that we've been profiting from these scams and the advertising revenue associated with it, that we have put in place systems to ensure that we're profiting from that scam revenue, and we're ready to put a stop to that, and we're ready to make sure that people that have lost money receive that money back, that advertisers, the good advertisers that are selling legitimate advertisements are receiving their money back. And, you know, I think it would be wise for Meta to actually understand that this is a losing battle and that it needs to account for this misconduct that has really fattened its bottom line for many, many years. Do I think that is going to happen? No. What I think is going to happen is Meta is going to do what it has done when there's been reporting on these kinds of systems in the press recently, which is to say we don't have any control over the scam ads that are posted on our platforms, and we actually take scam ads very seriously, and we do X, Y, and Z thing to try to remove those scam ads. The problem for Meta is that there are a lot of internal documents that tell a very different story, and the data tells a very different story. So, you know, I think they're going to be hard pressed to prevail in court. We're certainly excited to litigate this and optimistic that we'll be able to hold Facebook or Meta accountable. At very least, what we are thrilled about is that we are helping to profile and this misconduct and make sure that a broader public is able to understand that they need to use Instagram and use Meta, if they use it at all, with extreme caution, knowing, again, that there are an estimated 15 billion scam ads being circulated on a daily basis.
Thank you, Tom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are there any other jurisdictions that you can speak to that might become involved?
So right now we're the only civil prosecutor that is bringing this case in California. We are not aware of any other civil prosecutor that's doing so. Yeah. Okay, I'm available for any interviews if folks would like them. Thank you.